listening to Love Talk Live with the relationship expert, Jamie Bronstein, only on LA Talk Radio.
Hello and welcome to Love Talk Live. Today, I have here with me my dear friend, Michelle Schnider.
Hi, everyone.
And we have gone way back. I was driving here today thinking about it's been 15 years since we've been friends. And a lot of what we talk about, you don't even know I'm going to say this, but a lot of what we talk about on the show is relationships. And I believe that every relationship is meant to be. And we take the good things from our relationships and then we, learn from them. And what I realized is that the ex-boyfriend that I was with at the time when I met you, and that's how I met you, there were some things I took from the relationship. Wasn't the best one. He was not the right guy for me. But yet, we were at a party, like a schmoozy thing for the psychologist that I was working for. And she had introduced me to like a neuropsychologist to maybe do some work together or something like that. At that same time, the ex-boyfriend friended you. And right after that, he was like, Jamie, I want you to meet Michelle. You guys should be friends. And so that's how we became friends.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing that came from a relationship that was not perfect.
Yeah, that's true. I remember meeting you so long ago, and we lived in so many different places, but we remained friends. And we, it's hard to say that for a lot of people, because you go through life and you come and go, but we really made an effort to see each other and have dinner at our favorite place, Xi'an.
Xi'an, Chinese food, amazing.
Yeah,
by
definitely.
the way.
But it's wonderful.
Great bonding place.
Yeah, it's one of those friendships that we had it's just so unique. I feel like we have such a unique friendship.
We do, we're from different places.
Yeah, so many years and
now, like at that time, you were a piano teacher, and I was just at the beginning of my career, and now let's hear what Michelle does.
Yeah, well, I'm in your field in the sense where healthy relationships is part of what I do. So I'm a mindfulness and integrative nutrition coach, and I work with women and moms. So moms, if you're out there, and you can probably relate, on how to slow down, stress less, lose weight, and feel great really in their mind and their body and in all aspects of their lives. And what I do is I really integrate mindfulness in the sense of, really telling my clients to, when we slow down and look at things, we become more awake in life and we start to notice what really is in our own way, right? What are the behaviors, the mindset, the ideas that we have that are really preventing us from achieving what we really want to achieve. So I love that. I love to give people the keys to the car in the sense of saying, you really have control over your life, over your health. You don't have to just be in the automatic. You can be in the driver's seat and create really whatever you want to create. And as we know, this is a really sick country. We've got a lot of dis-ease around us from stress and health issues and food, and we have a lot of work to do. So it's really my pleasure to help people in all aspects of their life to get healthy. And one of the things that I wanted to say, because I think this really relates to relationships, is what I find when I work with clients is that we're really missing something that's so fundamental. And what we're missing is that we, fundamental in the sense that, when we deal with life's challenges, we really need these things. And for some reason, we've kind of skipped over it. And the things we really need are things like, love and kindness and compassion and trust and acceptance we need to give that to ourselves. And I think just in relationships, and I'm sure when you meet a lot of people in your practice, a lot of people are looking outside, just like in health, tell me what to do, or, but really it starts within, right?
Yeah, I was actually just talking to a client, and she was saying, this is the situation. I have this guy. He keeps cheating on me. Like, are we going to work? And I said, I need to know so much more, first of all, and I can't tell you if it's going to work or not, but all I know is perhaps there's something inside of you that was attracting that. Like, maybe you're not being honest with yourself, and so maybe that's why you attracted that relationship.
Definitely. It's definitely something to look at, when we're bringing something into our lives. So look out, what is it that we're putting out there, or what is it that we are searching for, like when we eat food, sometimes it's emotional. It's like we're trying to fill a void. Same thing. Or, are we going into bad relationships as well because we're trying to fill a void or something like that? So
I know you had an awesome topic. We were talking yesterday, and I said, if you could think of anything that you feel like would be interesting to talk about, and this is an amazing topic, so feel free to bring up the topic.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've just, I'm thinking about, being in a relationship and going through romantic relationships through life. And I say, like, every Jewish person can relate to this. I don't know if it goes through culturally, to other people, but if it does, definitely.
I think it does.
It does, okay. Well, I just remember being younger and being single and of age where you can actually date, and, getting the pressure from parents and loved ones as to, okay, so, now you're single, when are you going to have a boyfriend? And then when you have the boyfriend, it's like, okay, now when are you getting married? And then when you get married, it's like, okay, now when are you having children?
Yeah. And,
finally you have the children.
And then all of a sudden you wake up and you have all of that, and you're like, why did I rush?
Yeah. Yeah. And I really find nowadays we have that, not only in our families, but now it's even more sort of impact. Yeah, it's societal, because we have social media that's making us have that FOMO, the fear of missing out. The pressure of, like, oh, if I'm not doing it, I'm not fitting in. So it's not only family influence and pressure, but there's the world pressuring us. And I hate that. And I really want to speak to that and say that that's not healthy. And
yeah, because then I always tell my clients that you basically don't compare, first of all, and everybody has their own life journey. And the more that you focus on just being present in your own life, the more that the authentic relationship for you is going to come to you.
Definitely. If you focus on lack, have a lack mentality, then that's what you're going to see, But if you focus on all the great things that you have in life and know that your path will unfold, and set the intention for, what it is that you want in your life. And
then put it out there and say, I don't care when it happens. I want it to happen at the right time, and I know that I'm taken care of. I know that as long as I'm being present and in my joy and peace, that it's going to happen.
Definitely. And when we take care of ourselves, and we give ourselves the love and compassion and the kindness, our light shines very bright, and we start to attract what we're actually looking for.
Oh my God, the stories that I've heard that are so beautiful, when people just make that shift. And then they say, well, then this started happening, and then they just become alive again. Yeah. And they are attracting not only, their lover, their husband, their wife, their whatever, but everything gets better.
Right. Yeah.
Their jobs, their health, family relationships, everything.
Definitely. Yeah. I think it's just important to, cherish every moment. Take one step at a time. I feel like in this environment right now, everything is so quick. Everything is about, if you didn't do it already, you missed it.
Jump on the boat.
Yeah, it's moving very fast, especially with technology and everything. And we have to remind ourselves that it's okay. This is where we are, and it's a beautiful place to be. And if it's hard, life is up and down, and there are very, very hard moments in life as well. And just knowing that this is what it is at this time. It's not going to be forever. So that's
And that's acceptance, and that's a huge concept that I teach my clients, I live by. Just when we accept, instead of fighting.
Yes.
We just accept what is. We accept in our relationships, certain things that are. I always tell my clients it's that if you are trying to change the person that you're with, that's not a good sign.
Right.
If you're judging and they're judging you, it's not in the flow. It's just not authentic.
Right. And we can't really change other people.
We can't.
You can't.
People try to until they learn they can't.
And the one thing we could do is we can change the way we approach people. We can change ourselves, but that's about it.
And I know as myself, I am really happy with who I am. I don't want to change, and so why would I want to change somebody else? And I don't want anybody to feel like they want to change me. And if they do feel like that, then it's not the right.
Right. It's not the right relationship.
Yeah, it's not vibing.
Right. And that's a good point to say, you don't, if it's not vibing, if you're trying to, what did they say, put the
pot on
if you're trying to put
the lid on the pot
and it's not fitting. Yeah, exactly.
Like Cinderella shoe.
Exactly. If it doesn't fit, then
it's just not right.
It's just not right. And I think that trust it comes back to that thing that I teach my clients as well, is we live in our bodies. We know us better than anybody. So we have to learn to listen, and we have to learn to trust. So if we just take some time and listen, and deep down inside we know the answer. And if the answer is this isn't, it isn't right, just honor that.
That is my favorite topic, literally. It's your integrity. It's checking in with yourself. It's just, it's a knowing. It's a knowing. And even as a child, if you look back on any mistake that you made, because they say that the prefrontal cortex is not fully developed until you're 25, and that's what's responsible for making the right or wrong decision. But even looking back, before our prefrontal cortex was developed, and it doesn't even really come from there anyway, it comes from the universe, wherever, our intuition, our knowing. Look back at 6th grade. You still knew what was right to do, but you still might have gone with what felt good at the time or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's something that we are so disconnected to right now, again, because of what's happening in the world, because of the technology, because we are being distracted. We are being distracted from ourselves. So in order to, we have to just trust that we know. If it doesn't feel right, it's not right. If we need to rest, if we need space, then honor that, So I love that your clients are bringing that up to you, and that there are people like you out there that are promoting that, because that's really important.
And there are people like you out there that are promoting it as well.
Thank you.
And I just want to say, I know we have a guest who's going to be calling in, Rachel Russo, a relationship coach from New York. So we're just looking at over here to see if she's calling. But I just wanted to say that in those moments of peace, and quiet, that is where we get our answers.
Yes.
Let's see if we can answer.
Just find the time to be quiet, right?
Find the time to be quiet. And Rachel, are you there?
Hi, Jamie. I'm here.
Welcome.
Thank you. How's it going?
It's going well. We're having a fantastic conversation. So happy you're joining us.
Oh, thank you. I've been excited. It's a little late here on the East Coast, so if anyone usually listens to my interviews, I'm probably a lot more peppy. But I'll try. I've turned into a morning person, former night owl, so but I'm excited to have this talk.
Hi, Rachel. It's Michelle. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Michelle. Nice to meet you as well.
At some point, you guys will need to meet in person. You need to come to LA area, California.
Oh,
anywhere.
I'm sure I will. I do like to visit the Southern California weather. You can't get any better than that.
Very true.
Very true.
So
we may be experiencing some rain tonight.
Rain? How are we going to survive? Oh, my God. It's going to be crazy. It's good. We need a little rain.
Yeah, we do.
So would you like to tell our viewers just a little bit about what you do and who you are. And if there are, and do you also, so Rachel is a matchmaker plus other things. Do you also help people around the country or just on the East Coast? So we all want to know all of this.
Sure. So I guess the beauty of modern day technology is that I can help people anywhere with FaceTime or Skype and email and all the technologies that we have for doing video calls and just working virtually. So I do coaching with people everywhere. And I focus my matchmaking business on the New York City area. I've been a matchmaker and a dating coach full-time 14 years, my whole adult career. I like to say that. And it's just been an incredible journey. So most of the people I match up are people that live in New York City or New York City suburbs in New Jersey, Long Island. However, I also have been very lucky to have a position with a school. There's actually a school called the Matchmaking Institute in New York City, and they train entrepreneurs how to be matchmakers. And I've developed curriculum for them, an online training course, and I also speak at live events internationally and throughout the U.S. So through that, through my teaching and my work and networking there, I know matchmakers all over the world, everywhere, even like South Africa. Wouldn't believe it. So I can actually work with matchmaking clients anywhere because I have this network of other matchmakers who do recruiting and send me referrals and can meet people in person. So we collaborate. So, you know, if you're listening and you're interested and you're outside of my usual service areas, there might still be possibilities. I can't promise everyone, but I definitely could try.
Okay, on that note, I literally have a client for you. Just to let you know, we can talk about it later. But there's a new client. She's in Chicago, and I'm not going to get too into it, but she really also, besides for relationship therapy, coaching, she really would like a solid matchmaking company because she said that the one that she was using was just really not quality. She's like, I don't know, she's in her 30s and the only guys she was getting were like older, 50s, 60s, nothing wrong with that, but just they are not a good match. So I'm excited. I will tell her about you. Okay, so go on.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to talk to her. And I'm not one of those matchmakers that pushes an agenda on people. Unfortunately, some of the companies get a bad name. If someone comes to me and says, okay, I only want to date 5 to 10 years within my age range, and I think I can match them within that, I'll tell them. I won't say, oh, you have to date 20 years older. I got to be realistic, and I think it's important to do the matches with integrity because it's an investment of people's time and money, and, I try to only work with people that I can truly help, and that would be rewarding to work with, too, for me.
Yeah, and you're honoring their needs instead of just being like, oh, you're a guy and you're a girl. I'll fix you up.
Right. Nobody loves,
Exactly. People can go online for that if that's all they want, right? And there's nothing wrong with online either. Maybe you guys were talking about that or we could talk about that, but I think there's many different ways to find love today. And we're talking about this whole topic of manifesting love, so I don't think we should rule any of them out if we're truly open to it.
Absolutely. I mean, so many people have had success online. I met my husband on Match. You did not.
Oh, yay.
I did not.
Awesome.
I did the old-fashioned way
at
a party before technology. I think we had pagers. No, I think we started with cell phones. Yeah, he actually had to call me on the phone. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
That's good. That's pure.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was very sweet.
I love it.
Yeah.
But I was going to say also, and I know we need to get to your other things that you're going to talk about, but I just remember being single and the people that would fix me up. Yeah. With the people I would be like, do you really think we'd be a match? Like, how in the world? Bless everybody's souls, but bless his soul. But it's so clear that we're just not good for each other.
I was just gonna say that.
It's just because you're a girl,
yes.
you're in the same age range. So let's fix them up. And good intentions, of course.
Definitely.
But people don't take enough time.
I think it's like you said, good intentions, but I don't think
It's like, thanks for having me. Now I have to sit for 2 hours.
Yeah, we don't really think about what it is you need and all of that. So absolutely.
Okay, so Rach, take it away.
It's so true. Yes. I'm sorry. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Did you ask me a question?
I said, take it away. You had some things.
Take it away. Okay. So obviously I was talking about a little of what I do, what my career has focused on. And I think like one of the most important questions people ask me, like, how can I find the right person for me? How can I find something sustainable? Because it's really easy to get dates now. We're talking about all of these apps and the swipe culture. But how do we actually turn it into a relationship? So I think that's an interesting question to explore, and I try to work on that with my coaching clients. And I think you'll both like some of my ideas. So if you want, I can share a couple of them, ideas to kind of make real lasting love happen, to manifest it. And this could be whether you're totally single and there's no one right now in sight, or maybe you're kind of dating someone, or maybe you're even in a relationship, but you're feeling lonely in your relationship and you're not thinking that it's like the real genuine love that you know it could be. So how do you manifest more love? I think that's the question.
Okay, so yeah, we'd love to hear your tips.
Okay, so my tips, I have them written down. I have actually, so if people want to go to my website later, I have kind of a complimentary report that I would send out, and a lot of these tips are in there. But I'll give you my cliff notes.
And don't forget to tell everybody what your website is.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. So number one tip, I think, is self-care. And I'm sure, Jamie, just kind of from knowing a little bit about you and your background, I'm sure you would agree, like, this has to be a priority, because everyone always talks about self-love, and for some people it sounds too woo-woo. But I think to really, truly have a healthy, happy relationship, it has to start with you being healthy and happy. And a lot of people don't have that quite figured out. Like, what does that mean to really, like, honor yourself, respect yourself? I think it's everything. It's your whole lifestyle, taking care of your health, getting your money and your finances in order, being in a career that you're actually passionate about. If you're not in a career that you're passionate about, you're working toward getting passionate about it, or you have a hobby or something else, trying the best that you could to have healthy relationships with family and friends. I think all of that is so important to be like a whole individual before you try to merge with someone else.
Yeah, and I'm writing a book, and I talk about that so often. I remind my readers that, you know, it's instead of that whole like, oh, you fulfill me thing, but it's really a true forever relationship happens when two whole people come together.
Yes, and we were actually just talking about self-care before you even called in as well, because as a health coach, that's just fundamental for me as well.
Yeah,
really,
of course,
starting with taking care, not, looking elsewhere, but really looking within, really doing the work within, spending time, making time for yourself. So many people I hear say, like, I don't have time to eat a healthy meal, or I don't have time. And it's like, well, you're the most important person in your life. Of course you
invest
need
in yourself.
It's like, you need to change that mindset of, you are the most important.
It's all about you.
It's you. You have all the time in the world to take care of you. Our jobs in this world is us, right? So invest in us. And we're really, really missing that. I remember, unfortunately, my mom was in the hospital last year, actually a couple of years of with cancer, and I remember I was running out of the house, and I didn't eat anything. And I said, wait a minute, my mom's not going anywhere. She's in the hospital, she's not going anywhere. I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to make myself a beautiful breakfast, and I'm going to sit down, and I'm going to, enjoy myself and nourish myself so that I can be the best me.
And show up.
And be there for her, not ragged and stressed, but give her my light and my love. And that's, that's the way we need to sort of switch our mindset to really be more of a love first here, fill up put the mask on ourselves. We can't really pour from an empty cup, all that good stuff. So yes, we're with you on self-care.
Oh, good. I'm glad you agree. I won't get into that too much more, but I will say one more thing. For me anyway, having a morning routine and a night routine are like key, where I take care of things for myself early on. First priority, like exercising, having breakfast, as you're saying, I do meditation, you know, things like that, so that I don't start the day in this like frenzy because, you know, the text messages and emails will start coming in. And if you're just, I find that if I'm in the mentality where I'm just responding to everything instead of being proactive about how I shape my day, it's just like a disaster. And I feel so stressed. So that's kind of like my secret for self-care. I think like if anyone is looking for a way to transform their everyday, it starts with like little habits like that.
Yeah. And that's also about how you get grounded and present to be ready for the day. Definitely. My dad always said breakfast is the most important part of the day.
Yeah. I do want to say also for relationships, you know, for my husband and I, it is necessary for us to say, babe, you go and do your thing. He's in a men's group tonight. You know, he's doing his men's group thing. I go to Monday night, I do hip hop. My girls are like, Mommy, don't leave, and we miss you. And Daddy goes, you know, don't you want Mom to be happy and come back, you know, fulfilled? And I just say, Mama's got to dance, you know, and I know that I'm showing my kids that this is the right way to live. You know, we need to do
that. Is awesome. Yeah. I have to tell you, that was one of the things on my list that I wanted to bring up. It's simple. It's don't make finding or keeping love your only focus in life. Meaning, just as you do, people have to have an independent life outside of their significant other. Otherwise, they're going to be in a boring relationship. They have nothing to bring to the table. The conversation is dull. It's really important. You have to be a whole person, as I said, and to have those separate interests are key.
Yeah, you've got to let each other grow and give them the space for that.
Also, I think it really helps in relationships when both parties are on the same page, because so many clients come to me where one is so needy and they just need to be with the person all the time, and then the other one's like, I just need my space. My space is when I, you know, feel better, I grow, I learn, so I can come back to you as my peaceful, you know, full-hearted, here I am. And it sometimes the other person doesn't understand, and that's when there's a problem. Because it's so much better when both parties are on the same, even if they don't understand, I don't understand why you need more space, just at least validate it and honor it.
That's right. So true. What else? Okay, gratitude. I think that is huge. There are scientific studies out there. There are studies, may have heard of John Gottman. He has done tremendous work in the field of couples therapy, and I think that his research shows that if you cultivate a mindset of gratitude in a relationship, you are going to just kind of set off a chain reaction, and it's going to lead to more positive interaction with your partner. So it's such a negative kind of place to be in when all you do is see the bad in your partner. I mean, even something simple like, oh, they left their socks on the floor. The stereotypical complaint that a lot of women do have about men. You know, if you get in that mindset where you let that get you down and you're nagging your guy, and it's just so destructive to a relationship. So when you're in the relationship, you have to express gratitude like on a daily basis, compliment your partner, say what you appreciate. And when you're single and it's looking kind of bleak, and I know especially this time of year, I have clients telling me now, oh, it's another New Year's Eve, I'm going to be alone. Yeah, that's not where you want to be, but try to focus on the good things that are going on. Maybe you did have a date. Maybe there's promising opportunity coming up to meet new people. You really have to be in a positive kind of energy to attract positive things in your life in general, and it goes for relationships as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I just want to go back to talking about the couples and the socks on the floor, because these couples come in and they're so angry about the socks, or he eats with his mouth open, or she eats waffles in bed like I do, or whatever it is. But there's always stuff behind that. It's not really about the socks. What does that mean to you? Do you feel like your husband's like not taking care of you because he's disrespecting you in some way? It's not that you're truly angry about the socks.
Right.
Well, or the socks.
We were talking about this earlier. It's like plugging into the lack, focusing on like all the things they didn't do versus all the things that they do. And there probably are a lot of things that they do.
Yeah.
And we forget. And we forget because we get used to it, we just expect it. You know, we're so, you know, just in general, you know, I do a lot of mindfulness, so we often take for granted that we have legs and we can walk and we're breathing, and it's just like that. You know, we often take for granted each other and what we bring to each other's lives because life gets so busy, and then like we go on social media and we say this person's doing this and flying around the world and doing, you know, and it's just about, like we talked about earlier, it's just slowing down and appreciating, you know.
I did have a beautiful moment today as I was driving from San Diego to LA, and I was telling my husband the other day when I was just in the car for like 5 hours, never even turned on the radio, just totally thinking about all the things that I need to be doing. And today I was doing that, thinking about all the things I need to be doing, preparing for the radio show, etc., all the other projects I'm doing, logistics, and it came over me. I don't know if it was a song I got inspired by, because I eventually did turn the songs on because I had to like turn the mind off.
Yeah.
And it came to me, I was like, rewind, remind.
Yeah.
I'm living in California.
Yeah.
I'm actually living here, and I had wanted to live here. This is amazing.
Yeah.
I lived here before, and I never knew if I was going to live here again, and I'm here. And I just had such a beautiful moment of I'm here, and I'm just being grateful.
Yeah. I have to say, though, I've been with my husband for 20 years.
It's amazing.
We met 20 years ago, and we've been married 15 years. And there are days when I forget to tell him how grateful I am. And he's an amazing husband, and he's very, I mean, he cooks and he cleans and he
wow,
he works.
This sounds great.
He's
I'm sure a lot of ladies listening are thinking that.
Yes, he's an amazing man. Yes. And even like that, I often forget to tell him how amazing he is. And I have girlfriends that say to me, you know, did you tell him that today? You know, and I don't, and I do. And it's the work in relationships that we have to remember that any good relationship, if you want to have a good relationship, you must put work into it, just like the same work that we have to put into ourselves.
As long as we're on the topic.
I couldn't agree with that more. I think that, okay, love is a verb and it's a choice. And we don't just say, okay, I fell in love with him or her and that's it. Like, I think we have to choose repeatedly to keep loving that person and showing them day after day, again and again, that, you know, we care about them and make them feel loved in the way that they want to be loved. That book, of course, such a bestseller, The 5 Love Languages, could tell us more about how to do that. But you have to really, the essence of that is really understanding who your partner is and what they need to be feeling loved. Like maybe somebody's husband needs to actually hear it and wants the compliments. Somebody else would like the love language, the act of service, where you're doing something for him. You're making him dinner. The way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Like maybe that's true for some guys. You have to really know your partner and choose to love them in the way that they want to be loved repeatedly.
And not be afraid to step out. I know for me, you know, stepping out a little bit outside my comfort zone, you know, because I know he would want, you know, me to blah, 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 you know, for example.
Certain people do like that, the touch, and especially guys do want more of that physical intimacy. So we need to honor that.
Yeah.
Getting back to you and this 20-year relationship, Michelle Schnider, what would you say is, for all of our listeners, our watchers out there, viewers, what would you say is the key to a lasting, forever relationship?
I mean, all of this, everything that we're saying, you know, really is honoring each other, listening to each other, you know, making sure that we're giving each other space to grow and supporting each other, you know, and like we said, like, you know, I know that he likes things very clean and neat. He's a very neat freak, you know, and I'm not. So I have to be super conscious.
My husband and I are the same exact
so
opposite.
I try to be conscious because I know it makes him happy, you know, and that's the key, is like doing things for the other person because you know it makes them happy.
Absolutely.
You know?
Like, I used to go to Cubs games with Brian, and I don't necessarily love them or sit with him during golf.
Yeah, right. But I mean, also, I think, you know, communication is key, you know, and that's really important, and coming together and, you know, not going to bed angry. My husband's motto is happy wife, happy life. I mean, I think that's
amazing
a good
motto.
That certainly helps.
I mean, we definitely have, you know, we've been lucky, but we've also done the work. And I think that's what you got to do.
But this is why I find my work so fascinating, because there are couples that go through challenges that don't come out of it because they're not supposed to, you know. And so when there's a you guys, you know, and you've had challenging situations and you're still there because you're supposed to still be there.
Right. Yeah, he was the boy next door. I mean,
He literally was.
Yeah, he literally was the boy next door when I was like 5 years old, and we went to high school together, and we never met. It was one of those things, like, I didn't meet him at so many moments where we were like passing ships in the night, you know, and I met him years later when I was ready to meet him. And I want to say that that's a really important thing, because I always say, like, you have to go through, I don't know if you can swear on this, but you have
Go for it.
You have to.
I think I did last time.
You did, okay. You have to go through the shit to find the gold. You know, you have to know what you're looking for.
The frogs to find the prince.
Exactly, same thing. Like, so when I met him, I knew, okay, this is not what I wanted. This is I saw
what you didn't want.
Exactly, and I saw the beauty in him. And you know, you kind of have to go through that. I was also 22. I was young. But I was grateful that I went through all of that to know what I wanted.
Someday we're going to have Daniel on the show also.
Yeah, I would love it. Yeah,
So,
it'd be great to get a male perspective.
Rachel, we have some questions from viewers, but I also want to make sure that we get through anything else that you wanted to say.
Yeah, I just had one other thing to say. I think we kind of covered so many ideas. They're simple principles, but that's really what is necessary to make a lasting relationship. One other thing I would add before we get into the questions. People are scared to be vulnerable, but it is so attractive.
Yes.
I used to not be good at this, but having been a marriage and family therapy, I did grad school, I did clinical, trainings. I'm not practicing as a therapist, but I parlayed it into a relationship coaching career with singles, with couples, matchmaking. I learned to be more like that for my professional career and also my own romantic relationships. And I think when I was able to step into that vulnerability, all of the boyfriends that I had were like so impressed by it, because it's so rare. Everyone is just afraid to be their true self these days, especially in the dating scene. I wish everyone could have had like the 20-year relationship that started when they were young with the boy next door. But the reality is that it's not happening like that. And people are getting ghosted, and they're just going through such rejection. And so they're showing up as like a fake, I'll call it a fake representative of themselves, of who they really are. Like this person that goes on dates and makes small talk about their family, or, where they go for fun, or what they do for work. And they don't really get to like the core of who they are. They're just afraid to show their true colors, whether it's the early stages of dating or even like a few months in. They don't want to let their guard down. And my message to them is to do it, be authentic, like cry. I think that people like it and they resonate with that because it's like the truth. It's your true self, and it's so rare. And I believe that being your true self like that is the only way that you're really going to find the right person for you for the long term, because we've all, myself included, been in those relationships where it's like fantasy perfect for like the first 3 months or the first 6 months, and then the walls come down and people get comfortable and they're like totally different. So I think you should just, follow some dating rules so you don't come across crazy. I'm not saying to cry on the first date or the second date or anything. But for the most part, like, be yourself. Don't be afraid that you have to do everything perfectly or hide who you are, because the truth is going to come out anyway.
I just had a client the other day who was saying, I'm not showing up really as me. So I know, and she's aware of it, I know I'm playing this game. But then she says, but this guy that I really like, he's doing the same thing. And I said, you know what? No, like this, it's not going to happen. One of you has to change. You're the one that's doing the work. So can you just challenge yourself to just get out of the comfort zone, take a leap, and let him know how you feel, And because I believe it's already planned out anyway. So this is what I said to her. I said, he's either going to be your boyfriend and maybe husband at some point or not. So whether you tell him how you feel or not, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter, because he either likes you or he doesn't. Right. But the practice of taking that chance to be vulnerable is going to strengthen her so that she can now do it the next time if he's not the right one.
Well, I love I
Mm-hmm.
love what you said, Rachel, also just being, people relate to the truth. People relate to that heart-centered connection between us as humans, and I think
that's where true connection happens.
That's where true connection happens. Absolutely. And I think just like what we talked about is starting with yourself, it becomes easier to, be true and show up in your life. So, I love it.
Exactly.
I think it's wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I think you're right on. And it's unfortunate that in this world that we live in, the truth is hard to come by. So we have to show everybody what the truth looks like,
The more of us
people
that
appreciate it so much more. Like even on these dating apps, like if you don't want to see someone again, just tell them.
Yeah.
It's nothing personal. They're basically a stranger
Yeah.
at that point. Sometimes you didn't even meet, and you're just deleting them or ghosting them. And I think people would just love to hear the truth and not necessarily even take it personally if they're mature enough and they don't have so much of an ego. They'll just realize, like, okay, that person thought I wasn't for them, but guess what? There's tons of other people that I am for, and now I can reframe this, and I can be that much closer to finding the right person for me, and I didn't just waste my time. Like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the truth.
There's a commercial that I adore. It's a couple on a date, and have you guys seen it? I don't know what it's for, like a bank or something. And it's them thinking, like, the guy planted a friend calling him to be like, I have to go. I'm not really enjoying it, But it's...
Oh, God.
But it's like being honest, like, hi,
Yeah.
we're sitting here. I'm not really into this date, but I'll sit here for another 15 minutes and then I'll go. If only, that's a little harsh, but if only relationships were like that.
Yeah. I always say, like, when you do the love work within yourself, then it's easy to come from love with other people, because we really, like, if you find compassion within yourself, then you have compassion for other people, and so you will find a way to speak your truth from love, by saying it in a way that is just perfect. And then there's nothing, you just put it out there in the world, and then that you just did the right thing, and then it's theirs to hold on to in whatever way. But just come from love. You don't have to say, this isn't working out for me, in a rude way. You're just speaking from the truth, from the heart. And then you did nothing wrong.
And you can use the words, I'm just honoring my integrity. I'm honoring how I feel. And, we're both incredible people, and the right people are out there for us. But I'm just honoring myself.
Yeah. Yeah, these are great tips, definitely. And I love all of them. Perfect.
Awesome.
So I'm
great.
thinking
Well, I hope they're of value to people listening.
I'm sure they will be. I'm sure they are. We have a few more minutes. Why don't we wrap up with some information? First of all, I just wanted to say that if anybody has questions that you don't feel comfortable with calling in, asking on the air, feel free to email me at jamie@therelationshipexpert.com. I spell my name a little differently. It's like j'aime in French. It means I love you, or I love, or it's like Jaime, a Spanish name. JAIME @therelationshipexpert.com. The way that's spelled. That's my email address. And if you are interested in calling in ever through the live show, the number is 818-570-5085. You can find me on Instagram at The Relationship Expert, but no EX. It's The Relationship Expert.
I noticed that. I like that. When I saw that.
And now my guest and co-host would like to share how you can find them.
My website is Vital Path Wellness, and you can find me at Michelle at vitalpathwellness.com. And I believe that's all. And also Instagram as well, Vital Path Wellness. We keep it just consistent.
And my website, I forgot to mention, is therelationshipexpert.com, but spelled out EX, the relationship EX. Okay, and take it away, Rachel.
Okay, so I'm going to make it simple. I do have a couple different websites, but they all link back to my main one, and it's just rachelrusso.com.
Easy.
It's spelled RACHELRUSSO.com. And there are links on there to, or icons, whatever, to my Facebook, my Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google Plus, every
you don't do social media
you can
at all,
imagine.
do you? It's not really on social media.
Yeah, and I actually have a special offer for the listeners if you want me to announce it, Jamie.
Yes, we have about 2 minutes.
Yeah, I wanted to do something. So I guess it's like typically a little bit of a slow time in December, like the next couple weeks in the matchmaking world and the dating coaching world. Like as much as people really want love and they want to find someone before January 1st or, you know, in the new year, they're also traveling. They're also spending time with family. It's like holidays. It's, you know, people tend to put off something important as love life. They just think like, oh, I'll start in January, kind of like a gym membership. So I figured I'd give it a little bit of incentive. So this is an offer for anyone that's listening to this. I do an introductory session. It could be done via FaceTime or Skype or anything like that, or in person if you're in the New York City area. And it's normally priced at $250, but I'm willing to do it for half price for anyone who is interested in exploring coaching or matchmaking. The offer will be valid until January 1st. So this is just my invitation to not put off what you can do now so that you can take action to manifest the love that you want. So if anyone is interested in that, they can just go to my website. They can fill out the form, or they can email me at rachel@rachelrusso.com, and I will honor that half-price discounted consultation.
Fantastic. And thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
And I will see
Thank you.
everybody next week on Love Talk Live. Have a great week, everybody.
Thanks, Jamie.
You're listening to Love Talk Live with the relationship expert, Jamie Bronstein, only on LA Talk Radio.